All right, so here we are with one of the 36 volt setups. I want to show you when it comes to overvolting these motors, running them at higher voltage. I'll show you. It's kind of simple math. One is the heat. So the longer they run, the hotter these get. As you can see, none of them really have any cooling mechanisms. Maybe other than some of the oil. You can see some of these older style that just mount straight to it. The rear end, the oil can spill up into the motor a little bit. That can cool it a little, but even still, time running these things, they just eventually heat up. So you can see this one's rated for, the time rating on this is 60 minutes. So running it at 36 volts with the 2 horsepower rating. So this one doesn't have the amp rating on it. So if you just basically take 2 horsepower, 1 horsepower is 735 watts. So you take that times 2, about 15, 1.5 kilowatts, and divide that by 36, maybe you're around like 50 amps or something like that. So if you run this thing at 36 volts in 50 amps for 60 minutes, that's when this is going to start getting to its temperature ratings. You'll notice when you touch it, it's hot. So I would say if you're running lead batteries, you're actually probably pushing this motor a lot harder than a lithium build, even if it's a higher voltage. So I tend to try to avoid thinking in volts and amps because it could just be a little misleading. So I try to look at the horsepower rating. This is a 2 horsepower motor. 1 horsepower is 735 watts, technically 735.5 watts. So multiply that times 2, gives us around 1.5 kilowatt motor. So I can run this motor at 1.5 kilowatts for 60 minutes. Technically, I can run this motor at 3 kilowatts for 30 minutes, you know, and just keep going on and on. And it isn't exact math, but at least it's approximates, so you can kind of get a understanding of when this motor will start reaching its temperature limits. You can push them beyond it, but you might just burn them out. So they're pretty easy. These motors are pretty easy to come across anyways, but I figured I would just give you that quick overview of it all. When I actually run this car, it actually runs at around 2 kilowatts. So I actually run it on this 36 volt build. It actually at stock runs harder than the 2 horsepower rating, even with the lithium, the lighter batteries in it. So just kind of a quick overview of how you can kind of understand what that label means and how far you can push it. You probably can push 100 volts into one of these for a short period of time. And basically what I do when I overvolt these at higher voltage is I overvolt them and I tend to under amp them just because I'm running lighter batteries. So just the lighter weight kind of tends to naturally under amp them. Wheelies are not under amping, but they're still fun to do.